Thank you all for joining us today at our first virtual event. This year, MAITS has turned 17. It has been a long ride with ups and downs, which I personally have been a part of since the last 15 years. Today, we are joined by close supporters of MAITS. It wouldn't have been possible to be where we are without the support of you all in whichever capacity it was. In this room, we have trainers, partner organizations, staff, trustees, community workers, funders, and those who follow and appreciate our work. So let's open the event by setting some house rules and introducing ourselves to each other. My name is Sadia Mirza, in case we haven't met before, but I'm sure I have had conversations with almost all of you. Probably you haven't seen me face to face, but we have spoken at some point. I'm the executive director for MAITS, and I started my journey as a project coordinator about 15 years ago. You are invited to introduce yourself in the chat option by sharing your name, occupation, and the country you are joining from. We have had registrations from several different countries around the world, so it will be really nice to see how dispersed our participants are. Since this is a trusted group of stakeholders, we have kept the chat option open for you all to communicate with each other and network. I would humbly request you all to keep your mics muted throughout the event. You can choose to keep your cameras turned off, but it would be nice to see the faces. We will be running a short activity at the end of the event for which you require a paper and a pencil. So please have it ready. Lastly, I would request you all to please be respectful of each other. Okay, so whilst we are having introductions in the chat, which will help you all to network with each other and build relationships and meet new people who are within the same sector as you all are, quick poll will pop up on your screen. Please feel free to choose all the options that apply to you. This will just help us to know who is in the room today. Jenny, can I please ask you to start the poll now? Okay, I'll give it a few more seconds to let all of you to participate in the poll. Thank you. Jenny, can you please close the poll and share the results on the screen? It's a pleasure to see that we've got a mix of participants. We've got trainees, community workers, partner organizations, and trainers as well, along with the staff and trustees. Thank you. We can stop sharing the poll, Jenny. I would now like to invite Mihin Dalamal, the chair of our trust board and the founder of MAITS, to share her inspiration and say a few words.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mihin.
This is a really exciting call. It's amazing to see so many people out there. Like Sadia said, it's such a big mixture of trainees, trainers, volunteers, trustees. It really makes me feel so happy and so special that you've all taken this time out of your precious day to spend with us. I'm the founder of MAITS. I've been in the development sector for about 20 years now. So many years ago, MAITS was born, and I thought it might be interesting for those of you who don't know to tell you a little bit about why we started MAITS. So I run a family foundation, and we had a special relationship with a special needs school in East London called Whitefield. And They had some wonderful teachers, a wonderful head, Niels Chapman, who's no longer with us, but he was a really inspirational man in the world of special needs and disabilities. And we have projects and programs and partners in South Asia, and particularly in India and Pakistan. And since we had this wonderful relationship with Whitefield, we thought, um, and we could see the need for that sort of training and support that the expert teachers here had. We thought, let's match this up. So we invited some of our colleagues from Whitefield to do a little bit of training in some of our projects, and it went super well. And Geraldine is actually on this call today, and Geraldine was one of our original Whitefield teachers who went on this trip. And it was, the training was really well received. The teachers loved going. They felt it did a lot for them in terms of their personal development. And my dad and I had a chat, and we thought, what a great idea! Let's formalize this as a program. So that maybe 18 years ago was the birth of MAITS. And things have changed so much in the last 18 years. We have learned so much. A lot of our original ways of working, we realized were not the right things. We've met so many amazing people along the way. I'm not sure if Mel is on this call. She was one of the original pioneers of MAITS. Geraldine was one of the original pioneers of MAITS, and she's still on our board now. I also wanted to say a special thank you to Ollie, who I know is on this call today, and she was one of our first believers and our first trustee of MAITS, and we kept her. We kept her as a trustee for 11 years. So thank you so much, Ollie, for all that time and guidance in our growth over the last 17 years. I also want to say thank you to another trustee, Bella, who's been with us for 10 years. Bella, we may never let you go, sorry, but thank you so much for all your guidance and support. Another massive thank you to Sadia, who, as you know, has also been with us for over 15 years. She is one of the hardest. I mean, you all know Sadia. She is MAITS. She is one of the hardest workers that I know. She's so passionate about what she does, and I think you'd all agree with me that she needs a massive thank you. And another thank you to all the rest of our amazing trustees who give us their time and their passion, and the rest of the MAITS team who are also really amazing. So now, where are we now? 17 years later, 23 countries, 8,000 individuals trained, and that's impacting 1.5 million children and their families around the world. It's just truly amazing. I mean, I'm very emotional today because it's been a long road getting here, and I feel that MAITS is the best it's ever been. I think with the team that we have, with the leadership that we have, and I want to end by saying actually the biggest thank you to the backbone of our organization, and that's the volunteers and the trainers and the master trainers and people giving their time, you know, often unpaid, just because we are all on this call. I'd say all of us are passionate about improving the life of children and people around the world with disabilities. So thank you so much, and I'm excited for the rest of this call.
Thank you so much, Maheen. It has always been a privilege to work under your leadership, and I can't thank the trustees and the team enough. We are having Jenny, Faryal, and Melody today with us, again helping with setting up this whole event. Whilst they are very busy, coordinating the next few projects that have lined up for November and December. So some of you will be seeing them in person, and we are all very excited about the upcoming programs. Well, I promise I'm not going to bore you with my usual talk about work and about the programs and about the packages. It's time for us to interact a bit. So we are going to be moving towards a short quiz. I will again share my screen. All you need is to pull up your mobile phones or whatever you're using, a tablet or any handheld device through which you can scan a QR code. So on your screen, you will see this QR code, and I will request Faryal to please share the link in the chat. So if you don't want to scan the QR code, if it appears to be too technical, then by all means, just use the link that will be shared in the chat shortly. Okay, so what we are going to do now. When you scan this QR code, you will then have a screen which says Slido quiz. You can use your name or stay anonymous or use a fun name and then join this quiz. Question will appear, a series of questions. We'll have about 7 to 8 questions. You will have 10 seconds to answer each one, 20 seconds. I've increased the time because my staff were complaining that 10 minutes is too, 10 seconds is too short for this quiz. So you will have 20 seconds to answer each question. And then we will also announce the winner. Okay? I would request you all to participate in the quiz so that it can be fun. Okay. So the first question is about to appear on your screen. Mind you, you only have 20 seconds to answer this question, so you've got to be quick. Approximately what percentage of the world's population lives with some form of disability? 7 seconds left. Still got some people who haven't answered. All right, we've got 17 votes. That's not bad. The answer is going to appear on your screen. 16% is the right answer. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 16% of the world's population, which is about 1.3 billion people, are living with significant disability. This population includes nearly 240 million children around the world, which means that 1 in 10 children globally are living with disabilities. That is according to UNICEF. Through MAITS training packages and toolkits, which you're seeing on your screen right now, our community health workers train parents and caregivers on how to look after the children who are growing slowly or differently from other children. Our key focus is on improving the quality of lives of children and their family members. MAITS programs are focused on training caregivers and community-based workers because they are the people who spend most of the time with the child. Many places where we work, therapists or specialists are hard to find, but caregivers and community workers are always there. So that means that by giving them the right skills, such as how to support feeding, communication, activities of daily living, children receive help every day, not just during occasional clinic visits. Training caregivers and community workers means support stays within the community, families feel confident, and children with disabilities get the chance to grow, learn, and thrive. So be ready. The next question is going to pop up now on your screens. Okay, so the next question is, in low-income countries, what percentage of children with disabilities are estimated to be out of school? Got 9 votes. 3 seconds more to go. 14 votes, that's not bad. And just to say that I will keep sharing some added information after each question, so please do not close the quiz until I say so. The answer is 50%. According to UNICEF, in low and middle income countries, about 50% of children with disabilities are still not enrolled in school. One older estimate, which was cited by Global Partnership for Education, suggested that up to 90% of children with disabilities in developing countries were out of school. So what are we doing about it? Through simple techniques, parents can help their children learn activities of daily living. Of course, this depends on the level of severity of disability and the potential and circumstances of each individual. But we have observed that children who gain a level of independence have better chances of attending school or even vocational training. The pictures on your screen are showing two children who have received support from MAITS trained community workers and disability professionals. Be ready for the next question that you'll be seeing now. Mind you, you only have 20 seconds to answer, and I would encourage you all to participate. Globally, children with disabilities are dash more likely to experience violence than children without disabilities. You still have 6 seconds, 12 votes, 14 votes. Not bad at all. Great. We've got a really good participation. I'm quite impressed. The answer will appear now on your screen. The correct answer is 3 to 4 times. According to UNICEF's fact sheet, seen, counted, included, children with disabilities are 3 to 4 times more likely to experience physical or sexual violence and neglect. What is MAITS doing about it? Our 5-year strategy that was being updated and renewed in March 2025 goes beyond training disability professionals. We are focused on raising awareness about the challenges these children face. We are building a strong network of individuals and organizations who can challenge stigma, protect children, and promote their rights. And some of these individuals and organizations are here today in this room. Through working closely with in country disability organizations and professionals, we believe that we can create safer, more inclusive communities where every child is valued and protected. Okay, now we are moving on to our next question. Be ready. The next question is appearing now, and again, you have got 20 seconds only. In low resource countries, what percentage of people who need assistive technology, such as wheelchairs or hearing aids, have access to it? 9 seconds left. I must say, some of you are quite up to date with the existing statistics. I'm very impressed. Okay, so the poll has closed. Yes, majority of you are correct. The answer is 3%. According to the data published by the World Health Organization in 2022, in many low-resource countries, only 3% of the people who need assistive technology, such as wheelchairs or hearing aids, actually have access to it. So in order to help parents and children receive the support they need, MAITS has expanded its work from training community health workers to also supporting appropriate paper-based technology training and production in low-resource settings. Now here I cannot proceed without saying a massive thank you to our specialist APT trainers. Some of you are here today with us. You're generously sharing skills and knowledge with our in-country partners. Through these partnerships with local disability organizations, MAITS aims to set up community workshops in South Asia and Africa, where assistive devices can be manufactured locally using cardboard and paper. And these workshops will not only provide children with the equipment that they need at a very, very low cost, but will also create employment opportunities for the local people. So the next two questions will show that if you were paying attention when Maheen was speaking, because she has given these answers. Be ready, the next question is popping up now. In how many countries has MAITS delivered or supported training to date? You can't get it wrong. 9 votes. Got 5 seconds. Some people are also interacting in the chat section, which is again great. I am looking at the answers. You are close, but not 100% right, but yes, close enough. The answer is 23. And about 76% of the audience have answered it correctly. Now I'm moving on to the next question. So be ready. Again, this is stats about MAITS achievements. To date, how many individuals has MAITS trained in disability support and care? Maheen gave an approximation of this answer. So if you were listening to her carefully, you can easily guess what the number was. Okay? Yes. To date, MAITS has trained 7,923 individuals in 23 countries, reaching out to over 1.5 million disabled children and their families. You won't believe that on average it has costed £1.10 to support one child. Okay, let's see the moment of truth. Let's see the leaderboard. So the winner of today's quiz is Fiona. Fiona, you have done brilliantly by answering 5 questions correctly out of 6. And the average to answer each question was about 10 seconds. I'm not going to say who came second or third or the last, but you all have received the results on your screen. So you know where you stand, but you all have done really well. And thank you so much for participating. Do not close this poll right now, because now there will be a bit more interaction. Some fun questions will appear on your screen. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just about what you feel about MAITS and the work that we do. So in a minute, you will see a different screen appearing. Jenny, can you show me a thumbs up if you are seeing the poll? Thank you. What is the most important reason why support for parents or caregivers of children with disabilities matters? You can write a short sentence, you can write some words, whatever describes your feelings the best. I'll give you all a few more seconds because I see that there are about 4 to 5 participants still typing. 7 participants typing. I will give you another 2 seconds. I was going to say minutes. Unfortunately, we don't have that much time today. Whilst everybody is answering, can I just ask Nazia to share the link for this session with Ali? I've just received a message from him that he's struggling to join. Thank you. Two more participants typing. Thank you so much, all of you, for such positive responses. We just have another question, which I think is slightly easier to answer because all you need to do is pick an emoji. Which emoji best represents how you feel about MAITS' work? Oh, I love the hearts. I'm really pleased to see such positive responses. Thank you so much all for participating. I'll stop sharing my screen and go back to my presentation. I will now hand over to Faryal, who is MAITS project coordinator, and our expert trainers to talk about their experiences. So, Faryal, over to you. I will stop sharing my screen once you all have been spotlighted.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this event, and thank you all for joining. We'd like to give you a little insight from our trainers. So, we invited Fiona Beckeleg, the Disability Inclusion Advisor from Chernenga, and Dr. Shabnam Rangwala. Obviously, time is short, so we will ask them a couple of questions. Firstly, I'd like Fiona and Dr. Shabnam to introduce themselves. Hi, Fiona, if you could say a couple of things.
Good afternoon, Daniel. It's great to be here. Hello, everybody. My name is Fiona Beckeleg. I'm a physiotherapist. I am a founder and director of Chininga Child Development Centre in Western Uganda, disability inclusion advisor at CBM UK, and the chair of the MAITS Clinical Committee.
Dr. Shabnam?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening from our side of the world. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist by profession and have been associated with MAITS since 2016. It's been an excellent journey of collaboration, and it came in at a critical time when I was moving towards community-based work. Working across different contexts and cultures has broadened my understanding of disability to a great extent. So from clinical to community-based practice, thank you, mates.
Thank you, both of you. Fiona, I'll start with you. What are the problems faced by families with disabled children in the region where you practice?
Okay, thank you. So when we're looking at sort of the Western Uganda context, some of the problems that are faced by families of children with disabilities is about stigma and discrimination. There's still a lot of negative beliefs and misunderstanding around disability, which leads to exclusion of the whole family, that children are not able to reach their full potential. They often don't receive the services and the love that they truly deserve and have a right to. And so that makes it really difficult to care for a child with a disability. And because of that lack of knowledge and understanding, parents don't know where to look for help or to ask for help because of that exclusion. There's also tied in very much in poverty. There's a strong link between disability and poverty. And because of the stigma and discrimination, families find it very difficult to then go and earn a living, which then they don't have as much money to care for the children. So it becomes this whole cycle. There's also the challenge of very few specialists and healthcare professionals in rural areas like Western Uganda. So even when you do recognize disability and the need for support, there's often not a specialist available, and therefore having community workers who have a good understanding of disability and the ways that they can support families and children can make such a huge difference.
The next question will be for both of you, and Dr. Shabnam, I'd like you to answer this first. What kind of support do parents of disabled children require who are living in low-income settings?
I mean, I think Fiona has given an expand to the challenges that families with disability face in low-resource settings. But to just make my answer more structured, I think I would like to divide it into 3 levels. That's micro, meso, and macro. It's really important. A lot of effort is spent on all the micro aspects. That's trying to provide a wheelchair, trying to provide the community health worker. There's just a gamut of things that the child directly needs. And it is so linked to poverty that, they're really struggling. Like today, the entire morning has been spent in organizing a bus so that children who absolutely need an orthopedic evaluation from the rural area can be taken, convincing the family, organizing. So there is just, the immense, and it requires a lot of teamwork. But we do forget the 2 other elements. That's the meso and the macro. So I've been fortunate to work under a leader who strongly believes in macro level, because that way you don't impact that just one particular child for that one particular period. You try and make policy level changes so that you impact a generation. And that's how I've been fortunate in India to work under those skills and bring about a lot of policy level changes. And we hope that in the next generations, I mean, maybe one, I don't see it happening, policy level behavioral change, they take really a long time. But in these 40 years of my career, I have seen micro changes, and I'm an optimistic person. And I think that it will happen globally. When it happens in one setting, I think it's easier to replicate it in other low resource settings and community. Yeah, like the meso is basically changing people who work with disability, whether it's health workers, whether it's the medical professionals, all of that. So yes, I mean, there are different layers of work that go into working with families when they're in low resource settings. I mean, like low resource settings, we don't have any state support. So that really is our greatest challenge, that how do we rope in the state so that the state takes the onus of supporting their own citizens.
Fiona, would you like to add something to that, please?
Yeah, thank you very much. I completely agree with what Shabnam said, and it's extremely relevant. The experiences that she has from India also apply in an African setting, and in Uganda, there's very much that same thing. I think that what's really important outside of the medical support or the therapy support is the emotional, the mental health and psychosocial support that's required for the family. Because if we can support parents to be better caregivers, then those children are also going to thrive more easily. So by developing a community that understands and can support a family is such an important way of actually achieving success. So it's really focusing on that peer support, providing livelihood and financial support and opportunities, and very much empowering the family and the community. And they can then advocate and so that they can also work for policy change, but from a family point of view and a community point of view, as well as the organizations advocating for that change as well.
You've mentioned community. Dr. Shabnam, why do you think community-based services are so important in this sector?
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever we've said up till now, because they are the most marginalized of all populations. Having the disability and poverty puts them absolutely in pockets where, the child doesn't come out and he becomes an adult, he doesn't go to school, he or she doesn't go to school, and the marginalization keeps on increasing. So that's the need. I mean, you need to work with the community, and the way to work is a community health worker that we have been promoting. They are the ones who have the direct connect with the family. They are the ones who understand the culture and the context. So we sitting in cities and in urban areas can support to some extent, but we cannot be in their shoes. We cannot understand the life that, or the surroundings. Like I've had families in peri-urban. I mean, okay, I cannot today itself, like I cannot bring my child because how do I lose my one day's job? I mean, you're asking me to go for the entire day just because you think that my child needs an orthopedic evaluation and that would make him walk better or whatever. So they don't see the value in that. So gradually over time, counseling, supporting them, and that can only be done through community-based work. I mean, clinic-based work in our low resource setting, the human resource gap is so huge that doctors or therapists just don't have that kind of time and mind space, because our numbers are like there is for 350 people, there would be one therapist. So that's really, I mean, you need an intermediary cadre of professional who has developed, who is given the skills of a therapist. It may not be a therapist, but some sort of bridge between the therapy world. And so it's really, that's the gap that we need to continue to fill over time.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We'd like to thank all our amazing trainers, all our amazing community health workers. Without you, MAITS would not exist. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sadia?
Thank you so much, Fiona and Shabnam and Faryal, for sharing those insights. So Fiona and Shabnam are a part of MAITS clinical committee. We currently have about 6 clinicians from around 6 countries around the world, and they all volunteer their time to meet 4 times in a year to guide and advise mates on the programs and how to structure them better and which areas should be focused on. So I think that without the support of our clinical committee members, our programs would not be as effective as they are today. I will now move on to another activity. So if you remember that in the confirmation message that you received through Zoom, we requested you to bring a paper and a pencil or pen, rough paper, anything that is available to you. That is what you need for the next activity. So let's go back to our school days and let's have some fun activity, because all this time we have been so busy in our work and doing all the meaningful work. I think we all deserve a little fun. I'll hand over to Jenny, who will now conduct a brief activity. Jenny, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to see so many of you here today. I'm Jenny. I've been one of MAITS project coordinators for a little over 3 years now. We're just going to do a fun activity. Don't worry, this isn't something that you can get wrong or right. So just have fun with it. So I'm going to give you some instructions of some shapes to draw. And then at the very end, we're going to all hold our drawings up to the camera and see what everyone's come up with. So the first thing to do is to turn your paper portrait. So that means you've got the short edge at the bottom and the long edges are at the sides. And then in the middle, at the bottom, you're going to draw a large circle, maybe 5 to 8 centimeters in diameter. And then on top of that circle, you're going to draw a medium circle, a little bit smaller than this circle, just sitting on top. And then above that, you're going to draw a smaller circle, maybe 3 centimeters in diameter, sitting on top of the middle circle. On the top of the small circle, you're going to draw a thin rectangle that is sitting horizontally. On top of the thin horizontal rectangle, we're going to draw a triangle. And on top of the triangle, you're going to draw a small circle, like a very small dot circle. So some people may be able to guess by now what it is we're drawing, but we're just going to add a few details. So out of the side of your middle circle, Heather's realised what it is. We're going to draw a line coming out to the side, maybe 3 or 4 centimetres long. And the same thing on the other side. And then in the middle of your large bottom circle, you're going to put a big dot in the middle and do the same in the middle of your medium-sized circle. And then finally, 2 dots in your small circle and a semicircle that can be the smile. And I will just change my background so that I can hold up my picture to the screen. So hopefully you've got something that resembles a snowman. I'm just going to change my view so that I can see. Lovely. When I practiced this a couple of days ago with my colleague Fariel, and she drew something that looked nothing like a snowman. All the circles were inside each other.
I don't want to say anything.
No comment from Fariel there. Okay, well done, everyone. If you have produced something that looks a bit like a snowman. The idea of this was really just to point out that effective communication isn't just about what we say and giving clear instructions, but the other side, the understanding, our backgrounds, our contexts, our assumptions, our life experiences, our education level, all of these things influence how we interpret information and the sense that we make out of information. And that is a useful and important thing to remember, no matter what your line of work is or how you're involved in MAITS. I think it's a good thing for all of us to be reminded of from time to time. So that's that from me. Thank you. And I'll hand back to Sadia.
Thank you very much, Jenny. And great work, all of you who got it right, unlike Faryal, who we tried it with yesterday, and I just couldn't forget what she made. But yeah, Faryal, I've known you for the last 15 years, and we work in the same office for the last 15 years. We heard the same instructions, and our depiction was so different. It just conveyed the message straight away to me that how different people perceive different information. Thank you for that activity, Jenny. A true teacher we saw in you today. Now moving on to the next bit, and we are doing quite well with time. I'm quite pleased to see that we will be able to finish exactly at 1 p.m. I will be sharing a video on my screen in a minute. And Jenny, when I share it with the thumbs up, if you could please let me know whether the audio is running as expected to be, then that would be super helpful. This video has been shared very kindly by Dr. Isaac, who received training supported by MAITS in 2017. Let's hear directly from him and a mother who received services from Dr. Isaac.
Hi, Shalom.
Sadia, unfortunately, we can't hear the audio.
Okay.
Hi everyone, Shalom MAITS family. I'm called Isaac Ojok, a speech and language therapist from Uganda. In 2017, I received a training in dysphagia from Comprehensive Rehabilitation Center, Kosu Hospital, by MAITS trainer. And after 2 years, I decided to move in the north of Uganda, where dysphagia cases were there. And with the help of experienced SLT experts, we were able to establish these services in one of the health facilities, where we had been able to register an organization called Faith, Audiology and Speech Therapy. And since then, we were able to transform thousands of lives of children with feeding and swallowing difficulties. And as I talk now, we are at the point of setting up a dysphagia center, which will be able to train other health facilities, other health workers, and also students. And with me, I have a parent who has been a beneficiary for long to give her testimony. Thank you so much. And when the time comes, I welcome all of you and the MAITS family to be part of this amazing journey. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm called Christine Olara, a mother to Joshua Olara, a special needed boy who has been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. I brought him here sometimes back seeking for help from this facility. When I brought him some years back, he was malnourished, underweight, he couldn't talk, he couldn't eat, neither even swallowing. He had problem even with swallowing. After a long therapy services I've been getting from FAST organization, I am so happy that my son has improved a lot. He has gained weight, is running, even eating, is eating well. Swallowing is okay. Right now as I speak, he's at school with his friends. I want to thank you so much for the training and the support you have given. Continue with that support and the training so that it benefits other beneficiaries who are special needy children and their mothers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, FAST organization, for the help and support, and great thanks to Dr. Isaac Ojok. Thank you.
This is the story from one of the 7,923 individuals that MAITS has trained so far. You can imagine the significance of impact that these trainings have on the parents caring for disabled children. Dr. Isaac is also in the room with us today, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank him for not just receiving training, but making sure that he continues to deliver the positive impact to the parents within his community. There are so many more individuals like Dr. Isaac who are actively working within their local communities. We're not even aware of how far they have taken their learnings and teachings in the work that they do. This was just one of the examples. With this inspirational video, we now come to the end of today's event. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join us. We're truly grateful to everyone who makes MAITS work possible. Our donors, especially ZVM Rangoonwala Foundation, for their continued support since our inception. Our incredible trainers who volunteer their time and expertise, our partner organizations for walking this journey with us, and our dedicated staff and trustees who work tirelessly to deliver our programs. MAITS may be a very small organization, but we have a big mission and a very big dream, and we cannot achieve it alone. We hope that you all will continue to be a part of MAITS family and support us in whatever way you possibly can, whether it's through sharing your expertise, your networks, or by helping us secure resources that we need. Thank you again, all of you, for being here and for believing in the work that we do. Goodbye for now.
Thank you.